Greetings. Another day in. Looking at, they're starting to process, but saying that they are processing, meaning Democrats and the media, is, to be honest, giving them too much credit. They're not processing, they're trying to blame. They're mad and they're angry and they're trying to blame. We as a country need more people, in this case specifically and particularly Democrats, to put down the blaming and to start analyzing. Let it come to you. I've seen some clips of the Kamala Harris people who were blaming Joe Biden. It's like you had a candidate who never answered a question. And the few times that she did give an answer of what would you do differently from Joe Biden and from the 3.5 years previous, she said nothing. Meaning, she literally said, I would do nothing different. If you're a Kamala Harris supporter and you aren't looking at Kamala Harris's complete exposure as a completely inadequate person, not her personally, but her as a person to fill the role of candidate, let alone president, then you need to stop. You need to go back. You're not ready to look outward. You got to look inward. Really, you do. You do. Just stop it. Blaming Joe Biden when he was forced out by the powers that be, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and whoever else, they forced him out. They completely ignored the votes of all of the people. Covered that before. Joe Biden is actually not the problem. The problem is who made Kamala Harris the choice for vice presidential nominee in 2020? Who's responsible for that? Because the reason Joe Biden couldn't resign a year into his presidency or 2 years into his presidency, or be forced out if he was unwilling to resign, was because the person who was going to replace him was Kamala Harris. And the Democrats knew that if Kamala Harris was actually in the role of president for more than 5 days, she would be exposed as being completely incapable of doing the job, which would mean, since she'd have to be the nominee in 2024, that the Democrats would get wiped, smoked, and cleaned out. So, because she was in that position and you now have a loss, you, if you're interested, have to go back to those who put her in the position in the first place. Nothing personal against Kamala Harris. But when she answers a question straight, I will be interested in hearing the answer, because she doesn't. I'm absolutely amazed that she got as far as she did in her career. So here we are, watching now. The first order of business is watching those who supported Kamala Harris, who are now working through their anger and their upset. We cannot tell them what to do. We can only hope that they will look in the mirror and say, why was I so foolish to believe what I was told by CNN and MSNBC? Son of Liberty 2020, mliberty2020 at gmail.com. First order of business is for those who lost to look at themselves in the mirror and say, what did I believe in? What did I support that was false, wrong, inadequate, or a failure? What was it? That's the first order of business. It happens all the time. We as a country do need for the Democrats, the people who support the Democrats, to actually do this, because you have been a failure over the last 8 years. You have been a failure. You have harmed this country because you have not been willing to do the work to look at your own inadequacies, where you failed. Step up, identify it. There are plenty of good Democrats out there, plenty of good ideas that Democrats have. We do not get any of them as a country because you all fill it in, fill it in. That's for you to fill in. See you next time.